So good to have you on, Mike. Thank you very much. You beat the Pacers last night in a game where Giannis went 40, 15, and 6. I mean, absolutely amazing numbers, of course, but he makes it seem commonplace, Mike. Is that business as usual for Giannis, or maybe did he show you something even extra last night?
Yeah, no, last night it felt like he had a little extra gear. Some of the finishes, some of the things he did in the paint, he had a little extra pop. Which he does have, a ridiculous number of nights. It's kind of like the amazing and unbelievable becomes common with him. So, but no, he was really good last night. We needed it. They played well, and a high scoring game, and it was good to get out of there with a win.
Mike Budenholzer is joining us. I want to talk to you, Mike, about a few of your other guys, but PJ Tucker recently made the point that he knows how good Giannis is. And he knew how good he was from having to guard him. But since coming to the team, he sees how hard he works. He sees the kind of work that he puts in the gym, working on his shot as well. How valuable is it when you have your best player also putting in the kind of time and work and effort at the facility that Giannis does?
Yeah, I mean, you can't it's hard to articulate how important that is and how impactful that is when your best player sets the tone of getting in the gym, working, improving, getting better, not being satisfied, being the ultimate competitor. It's just, he's everything you want from every player. And, he just sets the example and people follow his lead. And, we're just beyond fortunate in Milwaukee and, as a coach to have your best player have the mindset, the work ethic that Giannis does. It sets our organization and our team up for a lot of success. And, we want to just, do everything we can to be the best, for Giannis. And he wants to be the best for us. And a lot of good things happen, around Giannis.
Mike Budenholzer, my guest. Mike, I actually love what you've done and what the organization's done and the team has put together. I think it's a fascinating team to watch. I want to ask about this, though, kind of a big picture question because I had Michael Malone on the show earlier this week, and he was making the point that the season and everything involved with the pandemic has been an incredible grind, both physically and mentally, for the players and everybody involved. What has this season been like for you and your guys?
Yeah, I mean, it has been a grind. It's been a challenge, but I also balance every year in the NBA is such a grind, and it's so challenging. This league, there's so many good players and good teams, and I do think it's gone up a notch, and I do think there's so many things with testing and all that, but our team, it's we're excited about kind of where we're going, the direction. We've been able to stay pretty healthy, on all levels, whether it be the COVID or just, general basketball stuff and been able to get, close to our normal work routine. And, you just get in a new rhythm. It's a little bit different. It is a little bit more challenging, but, every year in this league, it's tough. It's tough to get through a regular season and get into the playoffs. And this year it's a little bit more, but we've been a little bit on the fortunate side, and knock on wood, we can stay there and stay healthy and get going in the playoffs, here shortly.
No, I think it's interesting, like to that point that it is hard, but it's a new normal, and you adapt and you do what you have to do to get through it. And then you had a couple of really key guys. For instance, Jrue Holiday, he had 20 points, 14 assists, and 4 rebounds and 4 blocks last night. So an amazing game for him. I've always been really about his game and his character and what he brings to it. Like, what has his arrival meant to your team this season?
Yeah, I think, it's just the addition of Jrue is probably as important as anything, that for this team and this season and where we are, he's such a good player on both ends of the court. You talk about two-way players, guys that can impact the game defensively, impact it offensively. And that's what you need. The more really, really great two-way players you have, the better your team, and to have it at the point guard spot. And he just brings a confidence and a toughness and a poise that, it's hard to match. And then, the character and the way he's just fit into the locker room and with the guys and everything he does off the court. It's like, again, we just feel incredibly fortunate that, he's here, he's with us, to work out the extension, have him committed and be part of our core, going forward. It's these, from our perspective, it's the ideal fit. He's the ideal player. He's the ideal human, to put with the guys we have here.
Yeah, you said that way better than I ever could have. That's my take. I think he's just a class act on the floor, off the floor, what he represents, what he stands for, how he carries himself. You also added one of my favorite players, PJ Tucker, and he had a great quote. He told SI, quote, "Coach Bud is super transparent, and I'm at the point in my career where I know why I'm here. I have lived through every situation possible. It's not rocket science. They don't want me to do nothing I don't do." End of quote. I love this guy so much. Like, how do you see his role both on defense and offense, and what does he allow you to do?
Yeah, I mean, the what he brings, and it's, a little bit like till you're around a guy to see what he does defensively every night. It is special. He's just an elite defender. And I've really, I guess, been impressed. I don't use the word surprise very often, if ever, but he can guard multiple types of guys. He's guarded some wings and, almost point guards, guys coming off screens and pin downs and off-ball stuff. And then he guards big guys. He just guards everybody. And it's been so impressive. And, so we can switch a little bit more. He can do things and gives us like a little more variety defensively on how we can do things. And he just brings an edge and a toughness to us, really on both ends of the court. Offensively, I think, what he can do as far as a ball mover and screener and get guys open and free them up is a little bit underrated. And then the way he shoots corner threes, he's come up with some big offensive rebounds for us. But, I think at the end of the day, it's just a mental toughness. It's a mental edge that I think he brings that, this group, it's really good for us. And he's been great in timeouts. He's been great in the locker room. He's a big time competitor. He's got juice, and it's good to have somebody like that, for our team.
I love to hear you talk about him like that. I love that guy. And for all those reasons, Mike, you spent nearly 2 decades with the Spurs, and tomorrow one of your former players, Tim Duncan, is going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You've said, quote, "He is just one of the most incredible human beings I've ever been around," end quote. What makes Tim Duncan so unique and so special?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, we could talk. I'm sure you've had other people. It's like you could talk about him all day, and it's so hard to pick the perfect word. But he's the day, in sports, that's really what you're looking for is winners. Is just the ultimate winner, competitor. But the humility he does it with, the unselfishness that he does it with, the ability to care for others, and just, I just think about him touching somebody coming out of a timeout, going into a timeout. Somebody just got chewed out. They're feeling down, and man, one touch from Timmy, and that guy's like back on top of the the journey and stuff. And so I just think he's got an incredible competitiveness, but then an incredible humility and a way of connecting and being a teammate and being just a person that literally everybody loves playing with. It's so, he's incredibly deserving of the Hall. He's just, one of the all-time greats, and to be around him for, 17 years or 15, whatever, however many years I was there with him, just, special time for me, and just feel blessed as.
Right, no one like him. So, Mike, final thought for you. You've got the Heat tomorrow night, then you're in Chicago on Sunday, and there's so many different variables at this time of year in terms of seeding. How much attention do you pay to that, both in terms of where you're seated and who you might be facing, and how are you approaching the last few days of the regular season?
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time for the league, for every team that's in this mix, and it's crazy. Like, it's Friday afternoon, and there's still a bunch of different ways things can fall out. And so I think you just got to play. You got to prepare, and you got to play, and get your team. I think you want to be playing good basketball going into the playoffs, and in a good rhythm and healthy. And So you're just balancing all those things, and literally it's like 10 different things could happen between now and, Saturday night now. And, by Sunday, 20, 50 different things can happen. And so right now the mindset's just prepare, get ready, go play good basketball, against Miami, a good team that we've seen a lot. And, should be a great game. I think we're looking forward to it.
Hey, listen, I would imagine, Mike, finally, whoever you play has to deal with you as opposed to you having to deal with them, although you will respect them. But I'm guessing nobody would really like to see Miami in the first round if they had to, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought you were going to say nobody really wants to see Milwaukee in the first round.
Well, that's a given. That's a given, Mike. I think we all understand that.
Yeah,
that.
but
Nobody ever wants to see your guys, Mike, and we all understand that.
I hope, but the East, I mean, it's been interesting to watch. Even, the last few days, I've probably watched a little bit more of the other games, and Atlanta's so talented, and the way they're kind of playing and fitting together in New York, and what Tibbs has done there, and just all up and down the East, there's just a lot of good teams, and so I think everybody just wants to be healthy, be playing good. You're going to have a hell of a matchup, Boston in the first round, whoever comes out of that, play-in stuff. You just got to be ready. I think everybody's really good, and including Miami, to your point. Like, they're in the NBA Finals last year. They've got, a really good core group of players that's been together. Spo's like off the charts as a coach, like just, a ton of respect for him and what he does. And, but it's kind of similar when you talk about these teams in the East and the coaches and the players. It's what makes the NBA great, what makes playoff basketball great. I think right from Jump Street, the first round's going to be, the playing stuff's going to be good. The first round's going to be great stuff. And it just gets better as you work your way through it.
I was going to say, Mike, I'm trying to cut you loose, but really quickly on that playing stuff. For instance, I mean, can you imagine like the Lakers and Golden State in a playing game? I mean, maybe you don't have to necessarily concern yourself with it directly, but where do you come out, quote, on that playing stuff? Do you like that?
Yeah, no, I think it's great for the league. I'm imagining your callers and the stuff that you guys must be going back and forth, and all the NorCal, SoCal. If it was Golden State Lakers in a playing game, it would just be insane. So it's been a strange season. How it maybe end up that way with the Lakers, defending champions, and they're just such a great team and organization, but. If that were to fall that way, which I don't know if it will, it's exciting, and the fans, I'm sure, just going crazy with it, and we're on the other side, so we can kind of sit back and laugh and just think about what that game would be like. So we'll see how it all plays out. Another 2-3 days of games and results, and it's exciting.